Let's now see what the latest numbers and measures are in other parts of Europe. Standing by, we have several correspondents. We'll cross first to Brussels and speak to Dave Keating. So, Dave, what's the situation like with regards to COVID-19 where you are?
Well, Belgium is one of the more heavily hit European countries at the moment. Cases have been going up for some time. Deaths are not going up by as much as they were back in the spring, but the cases have the government very worried. And the reason is that this is such a densely populated country and traditionally a nexus for international visitors. I'm here in front of Manneken-Pis, the symbol of Belgium and a top tourist destination in Brussels. But the street behind me is normally full of souvenir shops and waffle places. Most of them are closed right now because there just aren't enough visitors to justify being open. The city is pretty empty. That's because Belgium has put a 2-week quarantine on entries from a number of European countries, and of course conferences aren't happening, and this is a big conference town, so the city is kind of eerily empty at the moment.
And tell us more about the measures.
Well, Belgium had hoped to relax measures by this point in September, but actually the measures got more strict in August. In the middle of August, the government said everyone has to wear a mask everywhere at all times except in private homes. I've got mine here ready to put on as soon as I'm finished. Also, bars and restaurants must close at 1 a.m. Clubs have to close entirely. And of course, as I said before, no big events. Belgium is still taking this crisis very seriously, and also the economic impacts on this city also continue to be quite serious.
Dave, in a few places across the world, we've seen people reacting quite badly to anti-COVID-19 measures, taking to the streets without masks and protesting against what they consider to be limits on their freedom. Has there been any of that kind of behavior where you are?
There's been some small demonstrations like that, but nothing like what we saw in Berlin or some other places in Europe. Generally, people are following the regulations. I have to say the mask ordinance does have a lot of people pretty angry, especially when the government first said you have to wear them even while riding your bike and doing exercise. After a while, it does get pretty tiring to wear a mask all the time. And so people are upset about that, but I think generally they're understanding that they don't want the numbers to go up to a degree to which the government would again have to put us under lockdown. Everyone wants to avoid that. So I think the majority of people here think, look, if wearing a mask is what it takes to avoid a second lockdown, I'm willing to do it.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed for that update from Brussels. Dave Keating there, giving us an idea of what it's like in Belgium.